Hi all and welcome back. Paolo here. This is another diecast review. I'm happy because on my channel now you can find some interesting diecast review about what is arriving here. We are in Italy here, and this is a collection that is very easy to find around, and it's a model produced by IXO of the 935/78 Moby Dick, the one driven by Rolf Stomlen and Schurti. 24 Hours of Le Mans of 1978. I think it was the winner of the category. This is a model made by IXO. I don't know if they write it under that, but I remember that they had the original one with the original box from IXO. I think back in 2001 or 2002, something like that, in my shop, al Soldatino Modellismo Milano. And I remember that the price of this model at the time was around 40 euro, to have an idea. Then they increased because there was the yen going up and the dollar going up, so every time they re-import these items from IXO, they were more and more expensive. So time goes by, and what happens now it is that this probably it was a surplus production from IXO, because I don't think they have any longer the European distributor, so it is mostly stuff that you can find online. There is surely somebody that sell all over these items, but you don't have any longer the numbers of 20 years ago when there was plenty shops selling them. There is a couple of them in Milan doing quite a good job, and this is probably, as you can see, and there is an explanation for all of that, I think a kind of pre-production or unselected production for the real IXO stuff. IXO stuff is provided with a proper box and so on, so I worked for these companies, not indeed for IXO, but I made it for Asia, I made it for Collector Armor, Eagle Racer, and so on. Nearly 30 years ago was a spare work that I did. It was to create the masters for these factories that were made here in Italy. I'm talking about the Asia and the CDC, and we just provided the master to Chinese manufacturer that made the mass production of the items. There was planes, there was tanks, there was cars, there was a lot. And I remember that they had the surplus of production, because every time that you buy this item, you have to remember that there is some guy in the other side of the world that probably for very few dollars have to hand assemble this stuff. So this is whole handmade stuff. There is a guy somewhere in the world, can be India, can be China, can be Bangladesh, that build it up quite in a professional way, because honestly the level that they achieved building up these items is very high compared to what they are paid. Usually they write it around the box. You see, what did they just say? Bangladesh. Believe me, this is a model that not so many modelers can do. It's not a stunning model. We are talking of something that arrived here in my hand from Bangladesh to Italy, 2-3 hands of reseller, promotional stuff and so on. I paid 5 euros this stuff, 4.99. Believable? 4.99, $5, something like that. So for $5, this is a Porsche, is a Martini, is a Le Mans. You know how much I love Porsche, how much I love this type of cars. And this is indeed a very, very special Porsche. So for $5, I think, no way, $5, you neither buy a beer in Milan, neither a beer. I think you buy a beer maybe in Rimini in the summertime, a small one, 0.4 beer, that lasts 0.4 seconds, So I could not skip it, I could not let it be in the shop. I had to buy this stuff, And I remember that exactly this model, with a slightly different part, because if you look carefully, for example there, focus on, there is some imperfections in the finishing. You see, the front light is that. The decal can have some crispy spots, so this is surely something not selected for the first production. And for the first quality provided by IXO. IXO made stunning stuff. They made really, really beautiful models, So this is probably something that have been made and slightly defective. There is several of them. Remember, traveled the world, arrived in my hands, $5. So it means that the beginning The price at the beginning of this item is something like, I have no idea, guys. I don't dare to say neither $1. I think zero. Well, we have to think about that, huh? We have to think about that. Model is absolutely well done. By the way, the proportion is well taken. I just had a brief comment, with the guy making this huge model in giant scale. Many do the mistake when they produce the 935/78 because it looks like a 911, but if you read carefully about the development, the real stuff that they made around the car, there is too much stuff that is not at all in common with the 911. I think the only part that you can really keep from a 911 is neither the part over the roof. It is probably just the door, just the side door. This is why, because the front windshield looks like the 911, have a different angle, and you see properly here. Is not the angle that you can find in the 911 SE of the 70s, absolutely. The real windshield is different, much bigger, fits in another position, the angle is completely different, and it ends with an air intake. So all this guy making huge scale, despite in 143, these kind of mistakes you can correct, and they are not so noticeable. If you go up in scale already in 24, in 20, Tamiya made something like this in 20, I believe, in 12, in 1 to 8 scale. There is people making this stuff in 1 to 8 scale. You look at the windshield, you see at once, you spot at once that is mistaken. You see that there is something not matching in the line, despite in this line of the X, so the line is absolutely the correct one, is the correct shape of this mighty Porsche. The model, in my opinion, is absolutely worth it, everything, for $5, as we said. I think I paid $5 a 0.5 of mineral water in Oslo airport, to have an idea. So 2 glasses of water. Believable, unbelievable, unbelievable today. This stuff is unbelievable, unbelievable. So I took it anyway. I took it for my collection, for my own stuff. This is stuff that will never end in valuable stuff. It's just lovely just to collect like they are. I like everything in miniature, even more if it is a Porsche, even more if it is a Le Mans, even more if it is a Martini. So for me, this is absolutely a must to buy. Check it around, and I don't know if in the other countries you will have at the same price that we have in Italy, maybe in France and so on, but I don't know about UK, I don't know about the US. I don't think that down there you can find it so easy, at this kind of price, probably yes, but maybe under different labels. In my opinion, this is something that is neither questionable if to take it or not. Remember, 1 glass of beer. Thanks for watching.